A town is being tormented by the presence and resurrection of an ancient demonic evil tainting the village. 3 heroes of unique origin come to the town, a sorcerer, rogue, and warrior, with a goal to seal the evil away as they descend through the corrupted church all the way down to the deepest levels of hell where they face the Lord of Terror himself, Diablo. After selecting our class and arriving in the town of Tristram, we're greeted to a world shrouded in an endless twilight. It's never purely morning or night here, and like many of the design choices in Diablo, this was explicitly done to create a sense of urgency while also giving you some comfort as the demons only attack at night and you still have some hours left before the sun goes completely down. We'll touch on that a bit more later. This idea of holding on to that one constant thing, even though the faith is misplaced, is the entire point of Diablo's story, and we'll cover that more as the story progresses. Making our way into the town center, we can talk to the townspeople like Farnham the drunk,
Can't a fellow drink in peace?
Deckard Cain the town elder,
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
Griswold the blacksmith, Pepin the healer, Jillian the barmaid, Wirt the peg-legged boy, and Ogden the innkeeper, who gives us some very grim news.
Thank goodness you've returned. Much has changed since you lived here, my friend. All was peaceful until the Dark Riders came and destroyed our village. Many were cut down where they stood, and those who took up arms were slain or dragged away to become slaves, or worse. The church at the edge of town has been desecrated and is being used for dark rituals. The screams that echo in the night are inhuman, but some of our townsfolk may yet survive. Follow the path that lies between my tavern and the blacksmith's shop to find the church and save who you can. Perhaps I can tell you more if we speak again. Good luck.
With a new quest, one that unknowingly begins the descent to hell itself, we make our way to the warped church. But before we do, there's one more person we can talk to, Adria the witch, appearing in Tristram after the Dark Riders swept through and the corruption took place. Whether she can be trusted fully is beside the point. Making our way to the church, an eerie red glow of taint emits from this once holy place, and we see the body of a man bleeding out. Upon speaking to him, he says,
Please, listen to me. The Archbishop Lazarus. He led us down here to find the lost prince. The bastard led us into a trap. Now everyone is dead, killed by a demon he called the Butcher. Avenge us! Find this butcher and slay him, so that our souls may finally rest.
The sanctity of this place has been fouled.
Now inside the church, the descent to hell begins, and whether our faith in the light and our souls are strong enough to guard against the influence of evil will be tested. Diablo, unlike most games, quite literally has no tutorial and or training wheels. The second you enter the church is the exact moment where no matter how many times you teleport to town or turn the game off, the game has begun, and the further you go to the bottom, the closer and closer evil gets. So much so that there are no objectives to return to town until a bit later, and even then, upon receiving said items, you can ignore them and never return to town. Meaning, if you were crazy enough, starting from level 1, you could dive all the way down to level 16 and face Diablo, and I love this. This being my first time beating Diablo 1, I was pleasantly surprised that Blizzard respected me enough to roleplay my character and return to town when things seemed important, and to dive deeper when things were safe. I didn't need an objective marker telling me to return to Tristram, I just needed to be intrigued enough to inquire about something, like a true adventurer. This no training wheels design was common for the era, but playing Diablo 3 and 4 now, then going back to 1 and 2, it feels refreshing. I'm aware strategy guides and instruction booklets were your tutorials back then, but even then the level at which you, the player, are forced to learn how to click is all dependent on if the player wants to read the booklet or spend $15 to $20 on a player's guide. I'm not saying this game is good because it doesn't have a tutorial. That would be disrespectful to Diablo and its richness, and also I see the statement get thrown around a lot despite its stupidity. What it does mean is the game is so focused on telling a story, setting a scene, and creating a fun combat system that trusting the player's instinct is the best way they could have gone with this hopeless, violent, dark story. Like I said, once you enter the church, the game is completely open and all you have to do is fight the hordes of hell. We learn of a powerful demon dubbed the Butcher. It's responsible for the destruction of a lot of Tristram, but also the death of many of the townspeople, the cause for Farnham's psychosis, and Wirt's missing leg. This level of buildup would cause you to believe there would be a large reveal and or moment where something is required of you beyond exploration. But no, once you enter the church and make your way down to level 2, sipping health potions like crazy, you'll come across a room decorated with gore. Opening the door will unleash the butcher. Nothing required, no crazy moment, just you, the warrior, face to face with the demon who slayed the town. It's amazing and perfect for a game like this.
The spirits of the dead are now avenged.
Diablo, if it wasn't already obvious, is about combat and exploration. The quest structure in this game is probably my favorite design in all of RPGs, and that's not an exaggeration. Quests come by just exploring deeper into the labyrinth, meeting an NPC in said labyrinth, or being stopped in town when restocking on health supplies. This allows every quest you complete to feel so fluid and expertly designed. At no point in my playthrough of Diablo 1 did I ever have to backtrack through levels, all because I explored and properly leveled up my character and armor. The one moment where some level of backtracking, in air quotes, is required is with a special side quest involving the legendary hero knight Lachdanan. Lachdanan was one of the knights responsible for the death of King Leoric. Early on in the game, we learned that King Leoric went insane after the disappearance of his youngest son, Albrecht. He began killing anyone he believed stole his son away from him. But this insanity was caused by the resurrection and growing power of Diablo. Seeing no other choice, Lachdanan took it upon himself and his fellow knights to strike King Leoric down to stop his insanity. But in doing so, his soul was cursed to never fade, and he was forced to serve Diablo in hell. When we meet Lachdanan on level 14 of the labyrinth, deep in hell, he says,
"Please, don't kill me. Just hear me out. I was once captain of King Leoric's knights, upholding the laws of this land with justice and honor. Then his dark curse fell upon us for the role we played in his tragic death. As my fellow knights succumbed to their twisted fate, I fled from the king's burial chamber, searching for some way to free myself from the curse. I failed. I have heard of a golden elixir that could lift the curse and allow my soul to rest, but I have been unable to find it. My strength now wanes, and with it, the last of my humanity as well. Please aid me and find the elixir. I will repay your efforts. I swear upon my honor."
With this in mind, we begin to explore level 14 for the elixir, but unlike every other quest, you won't find it on the same level. Instead, by going down to level 15 and exploring till you find the large pentagram, the golden elixir will be sitting there, ready to be scooped up and taken to Lachdanan, which is super easy just by teleporting to town and using the shortcut to hell. This is the only mission that requires backtracking, and it's absolutely beautiful. Upon returning the elixir, Lachdanan gives us a powerful helmet, the Veil of Steel, and says,
"You have saved my soul from damnation, and for that, I am in your debt. If there is ever a way that I can repay you from beyond the grave, I will find it. But for now, take my helm. On the journey I'm about to take, I will have little use for it. May it protect you against the dark powers below. Go with the light, my friend."
So what is Diablo's gameplay like? Well, Diablo for the time was a pretty unique experience, and even now, modern Diablo games play more like a MMO than a classic combat adventure ARPG. In Diablo 1, you can select from either a rogue who uses a bow and excels in long-range combat, a sorcerer who is extremely powerful with spells and magic, also he's really fun to play as, and a warrior who is the canonical hero of Diablo 1. He's the eldest son of King Leoric, and dominates in sword combat, where the other two heroes pale in comparison. I chose the warrior for my playthrough because he looks cool and I love the armor sets he gets, but also because I feel the game was balanced with him in mind. I don't know how to explain it, but if you ever give it a shot or if you played Diablo, you know what I mean. So sword and shield in hand, what do you do? Well, like I said, upon entering the church, the beginning of the end has started, and you'll not only gain the knowledge of a beautiful dark story, but also carpal tunnel, as the game was designed to be played with only the mouse, with hotkeys on the keyboard to make things easier. No joke, I think I've clicked more times times in the 2 days it took me to play this game than I have in the entire year of 2025. The gameplay often has you clicking enemies to attack till they die, clicking away from enemies to try and retreat when things get dicey, and using the number keys to heal when you get surrounded by hordes of demonic fiends. That being said, despite its simple repetitive nature, at no point did I get bored. The game's exploration and combat meld so well that you don't even realize you've been playing for 5 hours, and by the time you realize, you're already halfway through and have faced 2 to 3 bosses and leveled your character up. What makes a game fun is subjective, but I think we can all agree the satisfaction of exploring, overcoming, and upgrading is always welcome and makes for an enjoyable experience, regardless of the game. Usually it's games that lack these things or don't flesh them out that are bad or mediocre, and I can gladly say Diablo is not one of those games. So what's left after you've leveled up and reached level 15 of hell? A boss fight with the Archbishop Lazarus, the man who betrayed the town and caused the reigniting of Diablo's soul.
Abandon your foolish quest. All that awaits you is the wrath of my master. You are too late to save the child. Now you will join him in hell.
By this point, if you've leveled up correctly, got some good armor, and know how to cheese enemies that teleport around the room, Lazarus is no problem, and we fell him in no time.
Your madness ends here, betrayer.
Is by this point, you've probably noticed how the townspeople, despite seeing the destruction, the eternal twilight, the insanity happening below their feet, that something is wrong. It's almost like the townspeople refuse to let go of what they have. The ones who have experienced the demons of hell talk of ways to kill them and save their town. And the ones who haven't yet experienced the hordes of hell have a blasé, I'll believe it when I see it attitude. Even Deckard Cain, a man who should absolutely know better, withheld information about the past and refused to admit the obvious about Diablo's return till almost the very end of the adventure.
Prince, but I believe that Albrecht may yet be in danger. The symbol of power that you speak of must be a portal in the very heart of the labyrinth. Know this, my friend. The evil that you move against is the Dark Lord of Terror. He is known to mortal men as Diablo.
Diablo, at its core, is a story about humanity's hubris. We see this in the way Cain refuses to accept the town's fate, the way the villagers believe what has been tainted can be saved, and the way the warrior, upon felling the prime evil Diablo, believes he, after all his struggles and perils, can contain the soul of Diablo. It has to work, right? It's said that Diablo is too weak to possess anything but a child or elderly man. But alas, it's all false hope, and the warrior does the unthinkable, all to try and save the world.
The Soul Stone burns with hell fire as an eerie red glow blurs your vision. Fresh blood flows into your eyes, and you begin to hear the tormented whispers of the damned. You have done what you knew must be done. The essence of Diablo is contained. For now. You pray that you have become strong enough to contain the demon and keep him at bay. Although you have been fortified by your quest, you can still feel him, clawing his way up from the dark recesses of your soul. Fighting to retain control, your thoughts turn toward the ancient mystic lands of the Far East. Perhaps there, beyond the desolate wastes of Aranok, you will find an answer. Or perhaps salvation.
Diablo has quickly become my favorite RPG, next to the likes of Kudelka and Shin Megami Tensei 1. There's something about its simple, contained plot, mechanics, and world that really makes me want to just jump back in every minute. Where I love Diablo 2 almost as much as Diablo 1, I don't think Diablo 3 and 4 really captured that spirit of Diablo. I didn't grow up on Diablo, and I really only got into it at the end of 2024 with Diablo 2 and 3. But Diablo 1 has that X factor that very few games have, and it's gladly entered the games I'd replay category. So if you liked the video, maybe check out Diablo yourself. I used the Devolution X mod to make it run in widescreen and have quality of life improvements like highlighting items and such. Also, I forgot to mention some quests are randomized, so in some playthroughs you'll get quests that aren't in other playthroughs, meaning combined with the lightly randomized layouts of the floors per playthrough, no play session is the same, making replayability even better. I'd really recommend Diablo 1. Literally any version you can get your hands on is pretty much perfect. Even the PS1 port, which is really great actually, and I'd recommend that one because, you know, it's actually really good. I played a little bit of it, and if you prefer controller inputs, it's literally perfect. I really like the PS1 port. There's something charming about it. It's like the StarCraft port to the N64, like the N64 port of the StarCraft 1. So great, so great. StarCraft 1 on N64 is nowhere near as good as it is on PC, but it's still pretty cool. And the same thing goes for the Diablo 1 port on PS1. But that just about does it. I know it's been a while. I've got a lot of things planned, and I'm ready just to get back into it. I have a few member exclusive videos coming up, so, you know, I don't have any members yet, but when I do, you guys will be able to watch those. So thank you for watching, and go with the light, travelers.